today so far. We're going to be continuing our study in Hosea. Just going to get through the little chapters here. Just go quick. When we left Israel last off, they were having to pay for what they've done. They were being told that they have punishments on their way. They were told that they were wrong. And everything that they have done was justified of God doing what God's going to do to them. He set forth that they're unrepentant, there's punishment to come. And tonight we're going to read about how Israel will reap what they've sown. So we'll start there. And just a refresher, at this time and place, the kingdom of Israel has been split up. So we have the northern kingdom and the southern kingdom. The northern kingdom, like we said, is Israel, and the bottom one's Judea. And the northern kingdom has never been right. Ever since Solomon, the last king, there's been no good king in the north. All the kings of the north either come up by themselves, putting themselves in power, assassinating the last king. So it's already off to a rough start. And God's had enough of it. He sent out the prophet Hosea to go out and warn these people of what's to come. And like we've read so far, they've yet to listen, and that was only 7 chapters in, and tonight we'll be in the 8th chapter, and they've still yet to listen. So if you want to follow along, we'll start right there in the 8th chapter, in the very first verse. It says, "Set thy trumpet to the mouth, he shall come as an eagle against the house of the Lord, because they have transgressed my covenant and trespassed against my law. Israel shall cry unto me, my God, he knows me. Israel hath cast out the thing that is good, and the enemy shall pursue them." So we're already starting off by telling them to prepare for war. See, back in the day, whenever they blew the trumpet, it was kind of letting the village, the temple, that the town know that there was something along the horizon. And Hosea is telling them, be prepared, because this is what's coming your way. You have to be known. It has to be known because you guys have gone away from the Lord. You've gone against his covenants. You've gone against his law, and you think you could get away with it. And right there in the 2nd verse, it already tells you where the their hearts are still. It says, but we know who God is, but we really don't. That's where they were at. They know that we are of God. We're children of Israel. We are of you. Why are you mad at us? But yet we've done all these things wrong. And once again, Israel has cast off with the good thing. And we already know from our time in church, our time in the Bible, that there's only one good thing. Israel has cast away God and brought in their own things. They've brought in their own idols, and they've put up their own places around to worship. So they've cast God to the side and put away all the things that they thought are good in its place. Once again, all these things that us, this flesh, have thought is good, we'll put in place of God, and we'll just sit there and wonder why things are going wrong. But then here in the 4th, it says, I have set up kings, but not by me. They have set up princes, and I do not know it. And those are the ones that, like I said, the kings that have come in before. We had the 3 kings that God has ordained to put there. When they were telling the Israelites, you don't want a king, because this is what kings are going to do. They're going to take a 10th of that. They're going to take a 10th of this. They're going to take your sons. They're going to take your daughters. Yeah. They're going to take your servants. They're going to take your slaves. Mm-hmm. They're going to do all these things. And I told you didn't want it. But if you're going to have it, you're going to have to do it my way. And then he set forth the 3 kings that he wanted. And after that is where the kingdom started to split. It said, well, I no longer want the lineage here. I no longer want that. So we're going to put this guy in charge. And once that guy's in charge, someone wanted to be in charge more. So he went out and killed him. He said, I don't know who your kings are. I don't know who your princes are, because none of you guys have come to me to help make that decision. When I set up the kingdom of Israel, when I told you could have a king, I told you how you're going to do it. You're going to have to send it by me first. I'm going to have to come by and ordain those people that I see fit to rule my people. But you've thrown me to the side. You've put me out of my place, and you're just going to run your own way. You're going to rule your own way. You're going to do whatever you want. That's where we are today. We no longer just try to follow what God has in store for us. We no longer try to listen to what God has in plans for us, but we're going to do it my way. And if his way isn't my way, then I'm just going to try to push his way out of the way, take his king and throw him away, take his plan, throw it away, and I'm going to put the one I want in charge, the thing I think needs to be there, I'm going to put it in its place. But he says, that's fine. It says, thy calf, O Samaria, has cast thee out. My anger is kindled against them. From Israel was it also, the workman of man made it. Therefore it is not God, but the calf of Samaria shall be broken into pieces. So once again, once those kingdoms were split, they saw in the northern kingdom how much greater the south kingdom is. The kingdom of Judah went to the temples. They went to the places of God, and they could see the blessings bestowed upon them. But yet this
this king said, you know what? I'm going to do this instead. I'm going to make some golden calves. I know we're not supposed to, but I'm going to do it. And I'm going to put one here and one there. So instead of you traveling all the way to the southern kingdom and realizing that that's a God-fearing country, that those people are living godly, I'm going to put it in my kingdom so that you don't have to travel as far, but yet we can pretend we can do the church rituals and say, well, I went to the golden calf over here. I went to the golden calf over there. It's not the same as the temples down south, but it's close enough for me, and it's fine. I'll check it off my box, and we'll go on our way. I did what I thought I had to do. I did what my leader told me to do. I did what my household told me I thought I needed to do, but it wasn't good enough for God. He said that calf was made of man. Those religions are made of man. Those denominations are made of man. I'm nowhere in it. I was nowhere in it from the beginning. When you were in the wilderness, you had those calves out there, that golden calf, and look what happened out there. You think it's going to be okay to just slip it right back in because you're in a little guided temple? You're in a little guarded city? You think it's okay because you have those comforts of the world behind you? It wasn't fine then. It's not fine now, but yet we think it's okay because it's going to be all right. So says the king, but yet the king says right here, the Lord says you ain't going to get by. You ain't going to go there and there's going to be nothing there to reap. There's going to be nothing there. There's going to be, the spirit's going to be dead, but yet they'll check it off their box. And God said, you know what? I'm going to break it. I'm going to break it into pieces because it says right here, for they have sown in the wind and they shall reap the whirlwind. They have sown nothing. There's nothing there. It's just wind. They didn't put any seeds in the ground. They didn't put any effort into it. They didn't put any work into the relationship with God. They didn't put anything in it. They thrown God to the side and they put on a show. They put on a big old theater. They put all these things on in place of God. They're going to pretend like they're working in the field, but when it comes to reap, there's going to be nothing there because there was nothing sown. That's where we are sometimes. We come to the church, we go to the services, we go to the singing on Saturdays, and we just try to pretend to be there so that we can be seen here, or we can have our name set over there, and all these things, and we wonder why our relationship with Christ isn't there, but we aren't building it up. We aren't actually putting forth the effort. We aren't going out there and putting the seed into the ground like we're told to do, but yet I go to church, I do the things I was told to do. I shared my testimony in church, but once I go out in the world, I keep it away from them because I don't want to lose my friends. I don't want to lose the family members. I don't want to be seen as a weirdo. I don't want to be seen as a peculiar person, and I'll reap nothing. There's nothing there because I put no effort into this relationship with Christ. I come in and it's stale. There's nothing there. I don't hear him talking to me anymore, but yet I do all the things that the world has told me to do. I went out into the field. I've made it look like I'm working hard. There's sweat coming off my brow. Yeah, it's all a facade. It's all just for show. When I put in the actual effort, when I go out there and actually put the plow to the ground, when I actually put the seed into the ground, there's plentiful harvest. There's plenty of things to go out there, but yet these people, the people in the northern kingdom didn't want to do that. They didn't want this relationship with Christ. They didn't want this relationship with God. They didn't want this relationship, so they went out and did it their own way, but he says there's going to be nothing, and Israel is swallowed up among the Gentiles, just like we are today. We're no longer different. We're no longer peculiar. They were swallowed up with the people they were told not to be alike. Go out into the world and be different, but not too different. Be different in your church, and that's the only place Israel was swallowed up by the Gentiles. They blended in with the people. They went out to the world and was all one with the world. They loved everybody around. Love is love. They ain't got to worry what God's got to say. It's okay. It's all right. You can do whatever you want, but it's not what God says. God doesn't say it's okay. God didn't say all that. He says over there in the 11th verse, he says, you have made altars of sin. You have made altars to sin. You've got to go out there. That's what we've done. We've made sanctuaries of sin. We've made churches full of sin. We've made God's name full of sin because we've taken God and put him to the side, and we're going to run this how the way we want to run it, and God can't do anything to stop it. I've changed the way God wants us to because it fits everyone's life. It makes everyone feel good. It doesn't hurt anyone's feelings. We'll take out the condemnation of sin. We'll take out the punishment of death. We'll take away this and we'll take away that, and it's okay because I'm in a church. I'm in a place of power to say that it's okay, but God says it's not okay. It says, and they shall return to Egypt. We're going back to bondage. They're going back to slavery. They're going back to the place that God broke them out of. That's where we are. Christ came. He gave us a way out of that slavery. He gave us a way out of that awful place. Yet the world slowly wants to go back to it. Christ has put too much work into it. I don't want to do that for Christ. I don't want to go out into the world. I don't want to share his testimony. God's way is too hard. It's too rough. It's not good enough for everyone. I've got to change it here and there. It's a little bit more comfortable in Egypt. We had food, we had water, we had shelter over there. But it's not what God told him to do. He said, I let you out of Egypt. I'm the one that got you out of there. You had to go through that season for a reason. You had to go through that for a plan. You had to do that because I said it was. And now you're going back to it. I've already broken you out of there. Stay out of the way of Egypt. But it says, for Israel has forgotten his maker and buildeth temples. They forgot God. How can you build a temple and yet leave God to the side? Who are you building the temples for? What are these churches for? Why is there a church every mile down the street? But yet there's no one in the parking lot. Where's the God? Where's the maker in those churches? We'll build these buildings, get a tax exempt, and we'll go on down to the road and just swipe that card wherever. We'll go to those places and we'll see all the laser shows, the coffee shops, and all these things. They're big old temples, but we forgot the maker. We forgot the reason we're building it. We're building it bigger so we can get more people in it. But what about God? Is God in that temple? Is God actually there? But yet down in Judah where God is, it says you've built these fenced cities. They knew that was coming. They had the war planned. They knew what was down the road, but yet it says, don't worry, they'll get their judgment, but later on, they are right with me right now, but you're away and far off. You forgot who I am. You forgot God. You forgot the one that's done all these things for you, but don't worry, the other one will get their time. The other one will happen. Other things will happen to them, but then it goes right on to the ninth. It says, rejoice not, O Israel, for joy as other people. How imagine just that, rejoice not. How many times in this Bible has it told you to rejoice? Rejoice in the bad, rejoice in the good. But right here, Hosea is telling him, he says, yours is going to be a rude awakening. There's going to be nothing around you to rejoice for, because God's got his punishment. It's coming down for you. You're going to be punished for what you've done. That's a rough thing to hear. I know these people of Israel have already been through all these things. They've seen how great God has lifted them up. He's put them all these things. He's built them a kingdom. He's done all these things, brought them through the promised land, all these things, but we're just going to put them to the side because we left God away. We said, all right, God, you got us this far. I'm going to take over now and go away. And God said, I ain't doing that no more. I'm either going to be first or I'm going to be last. And you're going to have to pay for what you've done. The generations are going to have to pay for what you've done. You've left me too far. You've left me too long. It's my time to remember you. Who is your creator? Who is your maker? And that's what he says. Rejoice not. Imagine that. Imagine hearing that from God. Not to rejoice in the things that are about to happen. But yet the people went on with their lives. They didn't hear this. This is the first of the minor prophets. There's still 11 more after this. They didn't turn back to God. That's where this kingdom of Israel has been. Every time it's got good, they turned away further from God. But yet whenever they're in that bad, that dark time is where they grow close. If they could just stay close to God, they ain't got to worry about those good times getting away from God. But yet, that's what happens when we're comfortable. When we're comfortable, we go back towards the comfort. We don't go towards the comforter. We go where the comfort is. The comfort's in the world. All these people are making other comforts, but yet the maker is eventually going to get it back to them. It says right there, they shall not dwell in the Lord's land, but Ephraim shall return to Egypt, and they shall eat unclean things in Assyria. The Lord, they shall not offer wine offerings to the Lord, neither shall they be pleasing unto him. See, they'll go into these places, and they can't do what he says. I'm going to plague you out of the land that I promised you. It was for the chosen ones. You were the chosen people. You were the ones that had God's promise, but you're not going to dwell there anymore. If you're not going to put me first, if you're not going to have God above all, then I'm going to let you out of my land. You're just like gnats. You're just like ants, and I'm going to exterminate you, and I'm going to make sure you're gone. You're going to go to these places, and you're going to become unclean, but yet you're going to fit in with the society. You're going to fit in with the world. You're not going to be that peculiar person, but you'll be okay with the rest of the world. The rest of your friends are going to be right beside you, and they're going to be fine with it. It says, feast of the Lord's day. What will you do in Solomon's day, in the day of the feast of the Lord? For lo, they've gone because of destruction. Egypt shall gather them up. Memphis shall burn them. The pleasant places for their silver, Nettles shall possess them, and the thorns shall be in their tabernacles. When it comes to the days they're supposed to have feasts for the Lord, they're going to have nothing because there's nothing to give to the Lord. He says, I don't want your wine. I don't want your bread because it's gone bad. It's been over there next to the unclean souls, and I can't take forth. I can't have it. I need clean things to be offered to me. I don't want your dirty wine that you've mixed around with the rest of the world. I want your clean vessel. I want that clean bread that you're supposed to give me. The one that I'm supposed to have, the respect I'm supposed to get, not the 15 seconds you have right before you go to work. Give me the whole drive to work. Give me your whole morning. Give me it all. Don't just give me the little bits you have left and act like it's going to be okay. I want it all. God wants it all from you. He doesn't want what's left over. He doesn't want the scraps. He wants the feast. That's why he set them aside. And he says, your silver, it's going to be taken, so why even worry about it? And when you lay your head down at night in your tent, there's going to be thorns poking you in your back.
Yeah.
You will not get rest around me. You have to worry about your silver. You have to worry about everything else around you, because once again, you're unclean. I can't deal with unclean spirits that God can't do with them. He doesn't want them. He wants you clean. He's told you how to be clean. But it says, in the days of visitation are come, the days of reprimands are come. Israel shall know it, and the prophet is a fool. The spiritual man is mad, for the multitude of thy iniquity and the great hatred. The persons that are leading them have gone astray from God. That's like a pastor up here just saying, forget the Bible, let's just go out and do whatever we want. That's what this is saying. All those people that were supposed to be following God, the ones instructing the world how to follow God, they said, well, just do whatever you want, man. Let's bring Baal in. Let's hear from this guy over there in that other kingdom of other gods. Let's bring him in. Let's hear what that other God's done for him. And these people that are supposed to be in charge, the priests, the prophets, they're the ones that are supposed to be going out there proclaiming God's word. They've gone mad. They've become a fool. That's a dark place for a church to be. It's a dark place for this world to be in, is when the ones that are supposed to be proclaiming God is pushing God out and pushing this new God in its place. Here's Baal. Here's this God of love. Here's this God of war. Here's this God of that. But yet the ones that are one we're supposed to be focused on, the God of the creator of the universe, the maker of all things, we're going to push him out because he's not as good as the other gods. But it's okay. They're going to get it right. Right here's their punishment. Don't worry. It's coming. It says the watchman of Ephraim was with my God, and the prophet is the snare and the fowler, and the ways of hatred in the house of God. They are deeply corrupted themselves. I found Israel like grapes in the wilderness. I saw your fathers at the first strike in the fig tree. He said, when I built up this kingdom, you guys were as grape. You were great out in the world. You were as these grapes. And then your fathers, they turned out a little bit sour, but it's okay. They still bore fruit. They still had fruit on them because they still believed in God. They still believed in the Creator. They still had promises in them. They still had the will of God in them. But yet you guys, you've gone astray. You're no longer like the Israel I found. You're no longer like your forefathers. You've left them away. You've gone away. And it says it's okay. Do whatever you want. Right here's real rough. Right here's a tough place to be. Right in the 11th, it says, as the fury of the glory shall fly away like a bird from the birth, from the womb, and from the conception. Through them bring up children yet, and I will berate them. That shall not be man left. Yea, woe, it's also to them that I depart from. Down to the 14th. Give them, O Lord, what wilt thou give them? Give them a miscarrying room and dry breasts. Right there, he says, that's it. You can no longer be this kingdom of Israel, the one I set up. So I'm just going to take away your ability to have children. A whole nation's ability to have children. They cannot have generations after them if you can't have children. He says, if you ain't going to be the way I'm going to want you to be, then you ain't going to have a next generation to raise up in filth. You ain't got to worry about the next generation of what God they're going to trust in, or what God they're going to go to, what denomination they're going to be, or who they're going to believe in, because you ain't going to have children to worry about. I'm going to take away a whole kingdom's ability to have children. It's rough. It's a punishment. It's a trial to go through. But yet you have to be there. It has to be tough to hear this as a nation. We thought we were right. We were led by the people that told us we were doing the right things, but yet we're in the wrong. We should have known we were in the wrong when there's nothing coming by. That still small voice is no longer there. But yet right here it says, all the wickedness in Gilgal, and I have hated thee. I will drive them out of my house, and I will love them no more. They will be wanderers among the nations. This nation that was once God's chosen is no longer going to have a home. He's going to kick them out. He said, you're on your own. I was once with you. I was going to be there. I was going to get you to the other side. But you don't want that. You want the world. So go out and be strangers amongst them. Be wanderers out in the desert. See how far you got there. Because when you were in the desert with me, you complained every step along the way. So go out there and be wanderers along yourself and see how far you get. And it doesn't stop there. In the 10th, it says, Israel is an empty vein. He bringeth forth fruit upon himself according to the multitudes of his fruit. He hath increased his altars according to the goodness of his land, and they have made goodly images. They have seen that they are no longer able to bear fruit with God, but yet they still have this increase from the things that they've built up themselves. They still have this increase, so they're not building altars to God. They're not building altars to the one that's given them the increase. They're saying, no, God didn't give me the increase. It was this God of that land. It was Baal over here. It was Balaam over there. It was these gods that were giving us the increase. Our God, the Creator, the one that's promised us, the one that's given us this land, it wasn't Him. Why would He give us any of this? All He's done is these mean, awful things. So we're going to build up images of these false gods. And He says their heart is divided. Now shall they be found faulty, and He shall break down their altars. He's going to show them what God is. He's going to show them the power of the God. The one that's got them this far. He said, go ahead, pray to those other gods. I will break you down. I've been in a place where I've been broken down. Imagine a whole nation being broken down. The promised people, God's chosen people being broken down because they've left God astray. And it says, we have no king. It says right here in the third, for they say we have no king because we feared not the Lord. And then what would a king do to us? It says we don't have a king. We don't know who the king is this week. They change every other day. They're killing each other left and right. So what's it matter if we believe in the king or not? We'll get a new one next month. And you know what? We don't fear God. Imagine a nation that doesn't fear God. Right. Where would we be today if America doesn't fear God? We'd be right here. There's no fear of God outside the doors of a church. There's no fear of God at the red lights. There's no fear of God when we're going 80 miles an hour down the interstate, hoping and praying. Not even a hoping and praying in that car that every piece of bolt that's there is holding it together just right. We just keep on going. We'll push the speed limit to 110 and just keep on going. Not worried about the person to my left or not worried to the person to my right. There's no fear of God in this nation. There's no fear of God outside the church doors, and that's a scary place to be. Right. This is what your king going to do. What's the world going to do? What can you throw at us if we don't even fear God, our Creator? Throw it at our way. We don't care. We are not scared of what you've got in store for us. Oh, how ignorant Israel is. And it says down here into the 5th, for the glory thereof, because it is departed from it, it shall also be carried into Syria, and to the present the king of Jeram. Ephraim shall receive shame, and Israel shall be ashamed of its own counsel. Eventually, we got to turn back and realize this shame is coming because of us. Down here into the 9th, it says, cover us in the hills, and will it fall on us? That sounds so familiar. And Jesus was talking about it in Matthew. He says, they'll cry out to the hills to fall upon them. That's when the last time is too long. That's when on those last days when it's too late to do anything, when everything's already gone and left, they'll run out to the hills begging for something to happen to them. But God's going to get His way. You're going to have to go through the punishment that He has planned for you. He said you can run to the hills and beg for Him to fall. I'm still going to get my punishment. You're going to have to go through this condemnation. You're going to have to go through this because you guys left me alone. You guys left me astray, and you thought you could run it your own way, but not anymore. Don't worry about it. It says in the 10th, if they had my desires, I should chastise them, and the people shall be gathered against them. Right there, if so many people that don't know God say, how could a good God do this to the world? How could a good God allow evil to happen? I can't tell you that I don't have God's will in front of me, but it tells me right here that He's going to chastise whoever He chastises. He's going to chastise whomever He wants to, however He wants to, and I can't have a say in it. I can't stop it. I can't do anything to slow it down or even do all these things. I can't change God's mind. I can't do it. He's going to do whatever He wants. So there's going to be evil out there because He allows evil to be out there. That's how good our God is. He gives us that free will, that ability to see Him, be able to talk to Him, to reach out to Him, and realize this is not the will of Him, but it's my will I'm doing. But it's okay. It says right here into the 11th, it says, Judah shall plow and Jacob shall break his clouds. Right there, he's gone back from Israel. It's no longer just about Israel. We're going back to the beginning of Jacob. Jacob is no longer Israel. It's before he had his promise. It's before he had his name changed. What is Jacob's name? What does it mean? It's deceiver. That deceiver will go out to the world and do what it's good at. That's what we are. That's what this world is. It's going to deceive. It's going to go out there. It's no longer going to be known as what we once known. It's not going to be known as this promise that it's had. But it's okay because eventually he'll go back and call it Israel. But it's just a reminder of where they came from. You were once of Jacob, the deceiver. And because of what Jacob has done, I've given you a promise. I've given you the promised land. I've given you a kingdom. I've given you all this land. I've gotten you out of all the places you can imagine. But it's my time to face my judgment, and you aren't going to make it out. And it says right here, it says, for it is time to seek the Lord till He come and rain righteousness upon you. You have plowed wickedness, and you have reaped iniquity. You have eaten the fruit of lies, because thou didst trust in thy way in the multitude of the mighty men. We trusted in men. We trusted in the world. We went out in the world. We've done what we thought we wanted to do. We plowed into that wickedness. We were expecting something good to come out of it, but there can't be good coming out of the evil we planted. But yet if we just turn back to God, that's all He's asking His kingdom to do. Turn back to me. Turn back to your Creator. Turn back to the one that put you here. And right here in the 11th, and to stop from all this punishment, all this heartbreak that's going on. He comes back and says, I love you. He tells Israel that it's a kingdom that I love. You were there. Right here we'll start. It says, when Israel was a child, when I loved him and called him out of Egypt. That's what it was. He's reminiscent of those times where he was a child, when they were in the wilderness, before they were in the wilderness, when they were in Egypt, when they were just wandering along through the streets, while wandering through the deserts. He said, you trusted in me when there was nothing around you, when you didn't have a kingdom. You loved me and I loved you. Where did you go? It says they scaffolded into Balaam and turned their incense into graven image. They've turned their backs on God. They were given instructions not to do these graven images, but yet they wanted to go to it. That world is so tempting to follow. That devil's right beside him saying, don't listen to God. He doesn't know what he wants. Just follow me instead. Make that graven image to someone else. Grow up that golden calf. See what you can get away with. He's not going to punish you. It says, I taught Ephraim also to go. He taught them how to walk. He taught that city how to walk with God. We will know how to walk with God. But it says, tucking them at their arms, and they knew not that I healed them. How many times has this kingdom been protected by God? He said, I could have let so many things happen to you, but yet I protected you. I put that hedge around you that you cannot see. All those times the enemy wanted to throw every single last dart it's had at you, but I put that hedge where not even one could pierce it. And yet you act like it's these otherworldly gods out there. You act like it's Balaam out there. You act like it's your wife. You act like it's your family. You act like it's the world protecting you, but it was me. I was there the whole time. It says right there in the 5th, he shall not return into the land of Egypt, but the Assyrians shall be his king because they refused to return. It's just a little foreshadowing. It's just telling you that you're not going to be going back to Egypt, but you will be conquered by the Assyrians. We've read through what happened when the Assyrians came through Jonah when they're into that kingdom, and then they go through there, and we go through the other minor prophets. We talked about how bad the Assyrians were, and they had to be taken over because it was God's plan. But yet, this was the very first one. This was happening in between 1 Kings and 2 Kings, and they had all this warning before, but yet they didn't heed to it. They didn't listen to it. Down into the 8th, it says, how shall I give thee up, Ephraim? How shall I deliver thee, Israel? How shall I make these as Adamiah, and shall I make these as Zebulun? And my heart is turned within me. My repentings are kindled together. Those two kingdoms right there were right next to Sodom and Gomorrah. They were destroyed in the same event, but yet he's saying, I don't want to do that to you. I don't want to wipe you off the map. I don't want you to leave no trace of you anymore. My heart is torn because of what you mean to me, all the promises I've given to you. And it says, don't worry, right here, it says, I will not execute the fierceness of my anger. Oh, praise the Lord. How many times he said that to me, I didn't even know. Right. I will not execute my fierceness of anger. I could have made him so mad one day, he just goes like that. And I don't have breath in my lungs. I don't have air in my lungs. I don't have nothing left. But yet he says, I have mercy upon you. Yeah. I have mercy there. Don't worry about it. I'll have mercy. But this kingdom had a little bit more mercy. Just a little bit more mercy, it says, for I am God and not man. What if we could go out there and just go out there and act like God for a little bit? Would we have mercy upon our neighbors? This Bible tells us we wouldn't. It says that it talks about the debtor, the one who was forgiven, and the second he was forgiven, he went out to the one who owed him and said, I need the money that you have given me, or I will enslave you. That's where we are. That's what makes God greater than man. I want my payment back. I want my revenge. I want my punishment that you deserve, but it's okay, for God is greater than man, for he is God, and I am man. For he's not man, and he is God. That's how much higher he is than me. He can't have it my way. I can't tell him what to do. I can't point a finger and a lightning bolt strike down, but he can point a finger and wipe this planet off the map. But yet right here it says, the holy, I am God and not man, the Holy One in the midst of thee, and I will not enter into the city. They shall walk after the Lord and shall roar like a lion. Then he shall roar, and the children shall tremble from the west. Then they shall tremble as a bird out of Egypt, and a dove out of the land of Assyria, and I will place them in their houses, saith the Lord. He said, you're going to go through this, but when you come out on top, you're going to be able to have the ability to roar, to make the world fear you, not because of the strength that you have, but it's just like the doves over there. They're going to fly away because of what you've got behind you. It reminds me of the Lion King. Whenever he thinks he's big and bad as a little cub, but yet there's a big old lion behind him that's actually doing the scaring. That's what I'm like. I'm like that little cub that says, come at me, I've got God. And then God comes over me a little bit, and there's my big old God above me. My big old Father's in the way. But I don't want to mess with my Father. The world world's scared of my Father. The world should be terrified of my Father because of how big and how powerful He is. If I could just have the strength to go to my Father and tell Him what's bugging me, but I don't. And it says, Ephraim compares me with lies, and the house of Israel with deceit. But yet Judah yet ruleth with God and is faithful. This kingdom of Israel, He said, you're going to have to pay for what you've done. Your little brother down south, he ain't got his time just yet. He'll have his time, but right now he's faithful with God. But you right now as a kingdom of Israel, you have to pay for what you've done. It's just what has to be done. The debt has to be paid. He's had enough. He's had the 500, 400 years of them wandering away from God, leaving God to the side, and they have to pay. But yet He loves them so. That mercy's still there. The mercy was there in the beginning. The mercy's still here today. That's how great that mercy is. It doesn't make sense. If He's truly this God of power, the second we turn our backs from Him, He should just be able to stamp us out of existence. But yet for some reason, He looks down and says, I love you. I loved you when you were a child. I loved you when you were young. I loved you when you were in Egypt. I loved you when you were in bondage. I loved you when you left me astray. I loved you when you were away, when you were fair wearing over there. But yet you got to come back to me. You got to come back to your Father. Come back to me. I can hold you. I can lift you up. I can make you powerful. But I can't make you powerful if you're over there. You have to come to me. I want to make you as that lion. I want you to make me feared of the world. I want you to be a peculiar person. But you got to come to me. But I love you so. It's such a refreshing story. After 5-6 chapters of just hearing the punishment of what Israel's done, and you're just on the right side saying, they deserve it. They deserve it. They should get it. They should be wiped off the map. And God says, I should wipe you off. You should be destroyed like those other cities that you've never heard of before. The ones right next to Sodom and Gomorrah. The ones that you didn't even know existed. The ones that aren't on a map anywhere. I should make you like that. But yet I have mercy that I'm going to let you live. I'm going to let you go another day. I'm going to make sure that they know that what you're going through. I know you're going to have to go through that trial. You're going to have to go through that temptation. You're going to have to go through that tribulation. But don't worry, on the other side, you'll be stronger for it. You'll be able to roar a little bit louder because of what God's got you through. But you got to trust in Him. You got to trust that He's going to get you out of there. We have 3 more chapters in this book. And I'm just looking forward to hearing what God does with this kingdom. What He does with these people. Do the people listen, or do they just sit there and say? That's what happens in churches. And people hear the message of salvation and they wait. They wait until they think that they're going to be on a deathbed, but they might not be granted that. These people knew that this was coming, but it's not my generation. It's going to be the next generation. That's what happens. We're going to keep on waiting for Christ to come back. It's not our generation. It's the next. It's the next. I ain't going to worry about it, but it could be tomorrow morning. It could be tonight. It could be a week from now. I don't know when it is, but I'm thankful that I'm ready. I will not have to be able to go out in the world and beg for those rocks to fall upon me. I can go to my Father, not because of what I've done, but because of the mercy He's bestowed upon me through the blood of Jesus Christ. When I couldn't get out of the way, when I couldn't do it myself, He sent His Son. That's what He was telling these people here. He was preparing a way. He said, you're going to have to go through this, but I've got a way out of it, and you're just going to have to hold on a little bit longer. I'm so thankful that Christ came in my life. When I couldn't do any farther, I couldn't go any further without Him. He came in my place, and He said, I'll take what's yours, and I'll put it on my charge. I'll take yours, but you should be forgiven, and I'll put it on my account. Don't worry about it. Follow me. Pick up your cross. Put on this armor, and follow me. We got places to go. We've got things to see. You ain't got to worry about resting your head. You ain't got to worry about the rest of these things if you just continue to trust in God. And it's going to be rough. It's going to be tough. It's going to be a battle. But we can't focus on the other gods. We can't focus on the other people around us. We got to focus on God. Look at me. Keep your eyes on me. And if I could have just kept my eyes with Him, how far I would have been down that journey. But I like to stumble. I like to fall. I like to put my cross down and wander off a little bit. But yet He still comes back. I still can come back to Him, and He will still take me. And I'm so thankful for that. I'm so thankful He doesn't just wipe me off when I deserve it, when it's justified, when it's just, when it's right. But yet He still has mercy for me. He sees me and says, I loved you when you were a child. I loved you when you were in bondage, and yet I'm going to set you free. Keep following me. Keep believing in me. Keep putting me first. first, and let's see how far we can go in this. If only Israel would have listened, we would have had 11 other prophets, but they didn't listen. They had to go out their own way and find out, and that's okay. I had to go out my own way and find out what this book meant. I had to go out my own way and find out what he meant by holding on tight, don't looking back around the world and falling for the world, because the world will lead you astray. You can be a child of God, and the world is so loud and it's so bright. I'm not saying you lose your salvation, but you can follow into it and go astray. But I'm so thankful for the mercy he had bestowed upon me, that I can come back to the Father. I can get down on my hands and my face, and I can humble myself upon him and be able to receive him in my arms. I'll be able to receive me in his arms and just take me off. That's where this kingdom is right now. They just had mercy bestowed upon them, and we'll find out later what happens. But I'm thankful for it.
Amen.
Praise.